Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, these are general readings and they may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages there as well. All right, my friends, let's get started for Taurus. What is the energy around the week ahead for Taurus? Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh, we see message in the bottle. Let's see what else. Oh, my goodness. It's a lot of cards. Lots going on this week, Taurus. Quite the story here. Okay, let's have a look. Bottom of the deck is no place like home. So it feels like whatever you're doing this week or whatever you're sort of feeling this week, it's really sort of motivating you to find what feels authentic to you, what really feels like it's connected to you, even if that means sort of needing to move on from things or maybe shifting some familiar beliefs that are no longer serving you. This is interesting. We're seeing never-ending story and time to go in reverse with unfinished symphony and truth be told. And we've got that no place like home on the bottom of the deck. So this is interesting, Taurus. This is making me feel like you might be at a place right now where you have to look at that inner narrative, okay? Because looking at that message in the bottle, a never-ending story, and it makes me wonder if there's sort of a never-ending story playing in your mind, this narrative that's coming through that just needs closure. You know, you've got this unfinished symphony and time to go. It might be that you need to sort of have a moment of pause here with yourself to really be honest about how you're feeling within. You know, are you sort of looking at things from a perspective that's serving you, or are you looking at things from a perspective that is diminishing you or making you feel limited, or that you can't sort of be yourself, you know, and to express that self openly, authentically, and sort of just to be yourself. This is interesting. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see we can get more information here for you, Taurus. All right. What's going on for Taurus in this week ahead here for Taurus? Okay, so there's the Eight of Swords. So you're definitely overthinking things. There's some limits there. There's some fear there. There's some anxieties. Yeah, and it's interesting. Three of Cups in reverse here. That tells me you might have sort of this feeling like you're not celebrating life right now. Your emotional state is not in joy. It's worrying. You know, you're in a state of worrying. You're in a state of anxiety, sort of playing through you. And yet there's the Emperor sort of trying to guide you to be a leader here and shift this. What was that card? It's the Death. Yeah. Very transformative energy around this for you, Taurus. I mean, it feels like there's the Two of Cups in reverse as well. You've got the Two and the Three of Cups here in reverse. Very interesting energy around this. It really feels like you're overthinking some things that you just need to take the initiative on it. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to feel like there's no cause for you to feel joyful right now. It seems like you're keeping yourself feeling low here. Really, you just need to be patient. There may be some outcomes here that you're afraid of, but they could actually bring you to a lot of balance if you can see it in a different way. And we're seeing Temperance at the Lovers here. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands. So you're definitely at a time here where I feel like you're ready to let something go, but you're hesitating. You're hesitating to let it go because, you know, I don't think you're able to understand or see how you could possibly shift this. Like, it's interesting looking at these cards. It makes me feel like you're thinking, well, this is outside of my control. But is it? I feel like there's an element here that isn't outside of your control. There's something here within your thinking. And your thinking, the way you perceive things, is definitely within your control. We could both be looking at the same image or the same situation and see it differently depending on what framework we're operating from. If I'm operating from a framework where I am focused on what could go wrong and how heavy this burden is, and how I don't feel joy right now, and I'm not able to see eye to eye with certain people in my life, or I'm not even able to see eye to eye within myself right now. That is all within your control. If it's part of your thought process or your framework or your perspective on things, you can totally shift that. There's more than one way up the mountain, my friends, and there's more than one way to look at things. It just depends on the framework that we're operating from. If we're operating from a framework of lack, then we're definitely going to see things as what's missing. That will be how you perceive what's going on, as your perception will be tuned into what's missing in my life, instead of, if you have more of a gratitude or abundant perspective as your framework, you'll be thinking in terms of how rich your life really is, and sort of being able to see everything in your life as something to be grateful for, instead of sort of thinking, I'm missing certain things. I'll never be happy until, well, no, why not be happy today with what you have? Why do you have to meet a certain level or a certain condition in order to feel that joy? It's very interesting, this reading. I feel like you're processing things as you're trying to understand that you can actually shift that inner narrative to one that doesn't feel like a burden and doesn't feel like fear and worry and anxiety and avoidance, because that's ultimately where that leads, because you can only face that kind of outlook for so long before you have to shift out of it. There's the Six of Swords coming out to clarify, and the Five of Swords on the bottom of the deck. It's very interesting. So there's something in the way of communication or beliefs or thinking patterns, mindset, that needs shifting, needs to get, you need distance from some of these thoughts, some of these mindsets, trying to sort of recover from maybe a certain situation that you're worrying about the outcome. You're really worried about the outcome, and really I feel like this experience is asking you to really find comfort in this situation, and to almost be patiently awaiting the outcome instead of worrying about the outcome. Just patiently doing your own thing as things shift and shift, as things shift and transform. We see the World card here in reverse, which makes me feel like you haven't sort of understood the whole picture yet, right? You're looking at this from a limited perspective, and this is actually going to be very transformative. This is something that you could lead and really understand yourself in a new way. We see the Page of Wands there. So sort of initiating, bringing in a message of self-discovery and transformation. And it's interesting, for some of you, this could involve a relationship. We've got the Two of Cups, we see the Lovers here, but I feel like for others of you, this is really about seeing eye to eye with yourself. You and your inner self needing to sort of get on the same page. And that is going to be a process that's going to require some reflection. There's the Hermit. And there may be elements of this that are hidden from you right now. And there's the Moon. So there may be parts of this that you need to just trust the process and sort of be patient as you do so, because it feels like there are some elements of this that are within your control, but that the outcome is almost not within your control. But spending your time worrying about it feels like that's something you need to shift out of. Yeah, and there's Temperance again. This is a trust the process moment here, guys. This is really understanding that you need to stay grounded in the today, grounded in the now, grounded in the present moment, and sort of understand that the difference between what you have control over and what you don't have control over. I feel like you do have control over how you're perceiving things, how you're framing things, what your mindset is. And that's really where you have a lot of power to shift how this all goes. Do you know what I mean? But it starts with you sort of walking away, I think, or bringing closure to some experiences, emotions, thoughts, mindset that no longer serve you. And I feel like you're ready for it when I see that 10 of Wands in reverse and this 8 of Cups upright. I feel like you're ready to move on from a certain way of thinking, feeling, and believing. You know, a certain perception or mindset is shifting for you, Taurus. And I think you're ready for it. You're just in the midst of trying to figure out how to do this. And it feels like you just need to take the initiative here. You need to take the lead, stay grounded in the present moment, and know that right now nothing will come of this situation as it is. Isn't that interesting? Nothing will come of this the way you're proceeding. With a lot of worry and anxiety, you're not going to be able to impact things. So it says here, be bold and make the first move, just like that Emperor card suggests, like sort of taking that initiative, like we said, to put away things that don't serve you anymore, even if it's in the mindset, you know, like really shifting your beliefs, catching yourself in the moment and thinking in a different way. Changing the pattern, you know, doing something different because you're wanting a different outcome. One more card here for Taurus to close this very interesting reading about shifting the mindset and receiving sort of a transformative experience. We see here, bring love into the situation coming out. So really being grounded in that energy is going to serve you. I really feel like for some of you, this is a bigger story. This is a story about communication with another person. And for some of you, this is about communication with the self. And so in either situation, it's important to sort of know that as things stand right now with this current mindset, nothing will come of this as it is. You need to be bold and sort of shift things and bring love into this and bring a different set of sort of emotion, different set of perspective, different set of beliefs, mindset. It's very interesting. And you know, it's interesting. I'm telling you, for some of you, this is about another person, because bottom of the deck, we see here a new romantic cycle is beginning for you, Taurus. But for others of you, this could definitely represent just a new cycle, a new way of perceiving things, a new chapter. We see the Death card here. You are in the midst of a transformation. This is going to shift things, but you need to shift first. That's how it works. Very interesting. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. If it's resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. And as always, I'm sending you so much love and light and looking forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, my friends.